All right, ladies and gentlemen, boils and ghouls, happy Halloween. It's Frightmare HQ. Coming to you here from Frightmare Collectibles. My name is Lloyd Cryer, and I'm here with my co-host. Who do we have? Who's our co-host?
It is Charles Doze. What's up, Lloyd? What are you
What
doing?
is up, Charles? Man, you're all decked out for Halloween. I feel like I didn't dress appropriately.
This is just how I dress all the time. This is how I go to the grocery store and everything. So it's all right.
Well, I am excited to be going live here today on Halloween. We have a special guest with us today, as you can see right below us. We have Laurie Calcaterra. Am I saying that right, Laurie?
That's correct. Calcaterra.
Awesome. I did something right today. Laurie,
That's good, Lloyd. It's
yeah,
about time, Lloyd.
I know. Laurie is here with us from Path of the Pale Rider, and we're going to dig into this. This is a brand new horror comic that's coming up. And Laurie, what is your role in this comic? Are you you're the founder of this project? Is that correct?
Yes, I am the writer creator of this world, and I kind of head the progress and where the project is going. So I guess you call me project manager as well.
Right. So, well, tell us a little about Path of the Pale Rider. Just explain it to us like we know nothing.
So this is a brand new comic book series. It's a Western apocalypse horror. It's more like an existential horror where things don't die. So like the body might die, but the soul stays.
Okay.
So a person, their body could die and they're decaying, but they're not technically dead. You know what I mean? They're still talking, they can interact with you, but they're not like a flesh-eating zombie.
Okay.
It's kind of terrible where it's like you could die and still have to go to work on Monday kind of idea.
You just slowly just rot away, and you're like, all right.
Yeah, but as people are decomposing, their brains are rotting, they go crazy. So you have this ever-growing group of volatile people, right? And at first, no one really knows what to do. So people just they die and then they go home to their families and they just continue. But then eventually I kind of see them as like Alzheimer's patients where they like start to forget things. They can get angry real quick. Being alive isn't important to them anymore. So you being alive, Charles, isn't important to me anymore. So if I run you over with my car, I don't care, right?
That's not nice.
Exactly.
Lloyd,
So we have this
why?
whole group of people. They don't care about the living. So then what happens? We have riots. We take away rights. Can they drive? Can they carry weapons anymore? Are they allowed to vote? So we have this
A lot of
political,
social commentary in there.
yeah, where it's like we separate, and people are either supportive or they're not. And what I like about it is that I'm kind of giving everybody this situation, but I don't give you any answers about what's right or wrong. You can make up your own decision about what you would do in this situation. So our main character, when we meet him, he's 10 years into this apocalypse. And he's like a cowboy guy, and him and his horse, and they're traversing through the country, and they come across, different burnt down cities or, wildlife. And again, this situation that happens with the undead, it isn't just for people, it's for all living things, animals, insects, bacteria, viruses, okay, everything. So now we're in a situation that insects can keep eating plants. So maybe we have a hard time producing food. We're not slaughtering animals. I mean, we could, but it would just be disgusting because they're still protesting, right? So, I mean, eventually, even if you had ground beef, would it still be moving when you ate it?
Ooh, that's intriguing.
Wow.
Where did the idea for this come from? Was it something you thought about? Did you have inspiration from something else?
No, I just came up with it. It all started back in 2019. I started writing this, and I kind of have a weird history. So I'm a martial artist. I've been doing Filipino martial arts since 1997, and I've carried it with me and continued. And back in 2017, a group of us got together and we created a fight team. So we would choreograph fight scenes for production companies in Detroit. Okay. So that's kind of where I met this production company called Coattail Collective in Detroit. And they are fabulous. Like Rodezon, Jazar Riches, Mish Smith. I love them all. They're so talented and untapped. Like Detroit has this huge culture with production companies that, you know, because they're not Atlanta or LA, they don't get the credit that they're due. So I met this group and I wrote a short film. It's like, I don't know, 7 minutes, but it's all martial arts, right? So me and my two buddies, we had a blast filming, you know, for days and days for 7 minutes of action. It was such hard work. But that's where I kind of got like the bug. And this production company and I kind of hit it off, and they asked me to come on board with them, and I continued to write for them. So I wrote this web series called The Agency, which is like a spy series. There's a strong female character. There's a lot of martial art fighting. There's a lot of twists and turns, and we shot the pilot. But in the meantime, in my personal life, we moved to Texas. So there was some reshooting that needed to be done. So that one just kind of never took off. But that's kind of where I started writing. So then I was like, I have these ideas. I'm just going to continue. So that's when I started writing Path of the Pale Rider. And I just had this idea, like what would happen to the world if nothing died? You know, and I just kind of explored like what would happen to food, what would happen to people, you know, what would we do with this population if we were to separate them? Where would they go? You know?
Yeah.
Was it always planned to be like a comic book, or were you trying to do like a film first? What was the ideal?
When I first wrote it, I wrote it as a full-length movie. Okay. So it would be approximately 2-hour movie. But, you know, I wrote this script, and as a first-time, you know, writer, it's like, what do I do with this? Where do I take it? How do I pitch it to anybody? And I just didn't know. So, but then the more I was thinking about it, you know, as a first-time writer, you go in and you meet a production company, and a lot of times they bring in other writers. They make it their own. And it's like, I wasn't ready to let go of the reins. I had so many plans for what I wanted to do with this. And I kind of like, after I had written it, I kind of let friends and family read it. And it was my husband that came up with the idea. He was like, why don't you take this to Kickstarter and turn it into a comic book? And like the light bulb turned on. We love comic books. You know, him and I are big fans, and we read a ton of Image and DC and Marvel. And it was like, why didn't I think of that? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's.
I'm also, well, go ahead.
Well, that I think that's an amazing idea, because you can do so much in a comic book, and you're not bound by. I mean, of course, you've got a budget, but it's not as bad as, you know, trying to put it all in a film.
Right.
Yeah.
So what became like a multi-million-dollar project is now much more financially, so, you know, achievable for me.
Right.
To do it personally. And there's a lot of crazy stuff in here. So there would be lots of special effects, and it would have taken a big budget. Who knows? That could eventually, you know, that could happen eventually. We all know all the greatest movies that are out there originally were graphic novels and comic books. So
a lot of them were. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many, is it just like ongoing issues that's going to keep coming out, or is it just a set number that you're bringing out?
Well, I have 13 issues written.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I took the script and I kind of chunked it out. When I decided we were going to go comic book, I was back and forth between, do I turn it into a graphic novel and release it all at once? Or do we do issues? And I kind of liked the idea of issues. There's a lot in the script where there's good stopping points, and I put in multiple like twist endings, and you find stuff out, and it's a cliffhanger. So those naturally, you know, lent towards a comic book series. So like I said, I have 13 issues written. So at this point, all that we're waiting on is the art, you know, to catch up. And that's where it's like I had to go find capable artists that would want to come on long term to tackle this big project.
Well, that's how I found out about you. Is I ran into a gentleman. named Elvis of the Dead, and he showed me one of the variant covers that he was working on, and it kind of blew my mind. Let me bring that up if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
Oh yeah.
Look
There
at
it
that.
is. That's Elvis of the Dead. That's his work. Tell us about this one. Is there anything you can tell us about it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So in the first issue, and I'm not spoiling anything because when this goes to Kickstarter, there's going to be a preview of the comic, and this animal we affectionately call Big James is in that preview. So if you're going to go onto the Kickstarter eventually when it gets running, this will be there for you to preview. So in Jude's travels, he's looking for the answer of what caused all of this. And of course, we'll fill you in on his story at some point so you can see why he's looking for that. But so he's traveling in the wilderness with him, and all of his world is on this horse. His name is Prince. And they're going along this ridge and they encounter this black mass, and it's blocking the entire road. So they have to navigate over this bear. And it's like, if you don't know what's going on in the world that the dead can rise, then you're like, why is he being so careful and quiet around a carcass? It doesn't make sense. But he gets over this bear, and something that he did causes this bear to hear him and wake up. So now he's being chased by an undead bear. And how do you get away? I mean, like, bears are scary enough as it is, man, right?
Yeah.
It's an apex predator. They run, they swim, they
Especially
climb.
when they can't die.
And then what do, right? How do you get away from this thing? Do we know if it gets tired? We don't. So I'm not going to spoil what happens in the story, but he has this encounter with this bear, and that kind of sets up the world of how dangerous this place is, and how any decision that you make, how, tiny and inconsequential, could cause you to lose everything.
So you said you've got a Kickstarter coming soon. So up till now, has it been like private financing, or have you just raised money yourself to get where you are with it?
Well, this is issue number 1. So this is the very first thing coming out, and all the art that you've seen, I've commissioned. So it's been out of my pocket so far, but to really give us our budget that we need, we would love to take this to the fans, and supporters who can see this project and, enjoy this story and kind of, and hear about all the cool things that I have planned for this series and get them excited about it. And then that's who we want to enjoy this. So once, hopefully we can get funded and then continue, because if we can get everybody excited about it, then there's issue 1, issue 2, issue 6, issue 7, and issue 8. Those are cliffhangers. Like, if we can get to those, oh my God, I can't wait to unleash some of the things that I've done to Jude for the readers to either enjoy or despise. It just depends on, how you feel about Jude at that point, but it gets good.
Man, it sounds so awesome. I can't wait. I mean, really, what's the plans for the Kickstarter? When's it gonna open up?
Hopefully before the end of the year. Okay. So originally it was David Rodriguez and I, just the two of us. So David Rodriguez, if you bring up the picture of Jude.
Yes.
So Jude is our main character. So this is the artwork of David Rodriguez, and he is so fabulous. And him and I met on Facebook. So when I decided to go comic book, I went onto different comic book groups on Facebook, and I just kind of watched, how people interacted and how the terminology. And like, eventually when I got enough courage, I went in there and I said, hey, I have a long-term project. Who's interested? It's a Western apocalypse. These are the kind of things, this is the style I'm looking for. And there was about 8 or 9 people that were interested, but David, I sent him excerpts of the script, and he was able to put on paper what was in my head, and he still does it. And it freaks me out at times because it's like, oh my God, that looks like what was in my head.
Yeah, that's fantastic, though, that you were able to find somebody that could translate what you were thinking so well.
Right. And he drew some of the tech from the world, which I can talk about. But so he gets it. He gets the story. He can see the script, read the script, and understand what I'm trying to communicate and put it on paper. But it's such a big project, and especially time-wise, trying to get all these things done. And, you know, this is outside of all of our real jobs, right? Because we all work, and this is what we do with our free time.
Yeah.
So, and then Jose, who's an awesome artist, and he's a friend of my family. So we were at a get together, right? And look at this art, so amazing.
It
Like
really
he kept
is.
sending me sketches, and I was just like, look at all the details. He has a bullet hole in his forehead, you know, his tongue is over the tooth. It's hanging out, you know, it's like he's got an axe hanging out of his back because maybe someone else had
Seriously.
tried to get him already, right?
And the barbed wire and all that. It's just
Wire,
so awesome.
the
I was
bird,
looking at this. I looked at this for like 5 minutes and I was just like amazed at this. There's so much going on here.
right. And like the birds are eating them. And I mean, you could look at it for 5 minutes and just get more and more information about how this world works by what these guys are putting into this art. So it amazes me, and I am so happy to have both of them. And like where one is strong artistically, the other one is strong in a different place artistically. So we just make like a really good team. They're going to pull together some fabulous art, and this thing is, you know, going to be off the hook.
How many people are involved in the project right now?
Right now, it's just the three of us.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean there can't be more. It's just at this time, that's what's warranted. You know, at issue 1, we want to get it out there. Of course, we're going to grow, you know, we're going to get successful. We're going to build another, you know, we can bring in more people and have editors and proofreaders. And, you know, because right now David is doing concept art. Jose is doing ink. David is doing color. And then we're good. You know, it's like we could have someone who does lettering. We could have someone else that does, I mean, we could bring in more people when we get there. But right now it's issue 1, and we just want to get it out for people to enjoy it. So
when you're writing these, how hard is it to, you know, because you already wrote like a script, a screenplay in your head. How hard is it when you're looking at what you wrote to determine which scenes are going to be on the comic book, like what's going to be displayed for people? Is that difficult?
Not really, because when I wrote it as a screenplay, I'm seeing it visually in my head. So a lot of the stuff that I'm writing detail about could very easily get put into the story. So it's not that hard, at least not for me. Just because of my style of writing. It is hard sometimes when you have too much detail, where it's like, you know, originally we were like, okay, 6 pages is good. And then we started blocking it out. It was like, okay, now it's 7. Okay, now it's 8. Oh, we don't want it to be 9 pages. Oh my God. You know, and then you got to kind of like rein it in and be like, okay, this and this is kind of redundant. So we got to whittle this down and make it lean, because you don't want it to be too much too. It's like, how many different pictures of Jude squinting do we need? Some of these out, right?
Yeah, that's always amazed me with comics, is just how people get it on paper, because you have to tell a story through minimal photos and pictures, but still keep the user intrigued. And I always found that amazing how they can do that.
And it's all these 2 guys are fabulous at that, you know, being able to convey emotion on people's faces, having small details, communicating action. I think one of the big challenges for this script is we're going to have to communicate sound in something where there's no sound. There's several places in the story where it's like either really quiet because they have to be quiet. Like in this first episode where they're sneaking past this bear, it's essential that they have nothing that rattles. You know, he puts special shoes on the hooves of the horse, so that way you're not hearing the clip clop on the road. I mean, it's that important that we communicate how quiet it is. And then on the other spectrum, there's other parts of the story where it's so loud it's deafening. So we have to do things like showing people putting on protective stuff on their ears, and you know what I mean, to kind of communicate how loud it is. But that's again where I'm going to rely on this artistic team to really fill in the gaps and tell the story.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see more of this.
I'm bringing the picture of the bear back up, and I love the the sun. I love how the focus isn't all on the bear, but that the sun in the background really creates an atmosphere of you're watching a Western, or this is a Western, you know.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a Western apocalypse more in the beginning where it's, you know, it's a guy and his horse and he was dressed as a cowboy. But, you know, when you look at the stuff that he's carrying with him, it's been patched up, or some of it's new, some of it's old, it's mismatched. It's stuff that he's been scavenging because, again, I mean, he's been in the apocalypse for 10 years and a good portion of that he's been on the road. So what can he pick up and take with him for his survival? And that's what it's about, you know?
Right.
So the more you look at the details of what Jude has with him, it kind of, you'll get more information about how his world functions.
I do want to remind everybody, if you guys have a question, everybody that's watching right now, please let us know. I'm sure that Laurie will be glad to answer any questions that you have. And we'll wait on those. If you've got any, I'll keep looking for it. Do you want to show the video now that you sent over?
Yeah, I want to talk about this. So for every comic that comes out, what we're going to do for our readers is release a video. And the video is another view of this world, but it's outside of the perspective of Jude and our story of our main characters. Okay, so it's just another way to experience what Path of the Pale Rider is about. And every issue that comes out, we're going to have a video, and they're all going to be different topics. For issue number 2, I'm actually going to open it up to our viewers and have them submit some videos so we can have them participate. So I'm really excited for that. And
that's fun.
Yeah. And so along with the videos, I just wanted to mention we're building like Easter eggs and scavenger hunts into these where there might be like printing in black light ink. So
wow.
There might be a secret at the end of the issue that you have to find that if you follow the instructions takes you to a web page that I've created that I haven't talked about on social media. So you know what I mean? So there's things for the readers to explore in like the real world.
Right.
So,
interact, you know, bring them in and interact a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great.
Yeah, great idea. So before we go to the video, when does the Kickstarter, when can we see the Kickstarter? Are you on there yet or not?
I was trying to get pre-launch status as of today, but I posted it last week and it has to go through an approval process.
Oh,
so
okay.
at the end of the video, I can give you, like we have a Facebook, we have an Instagram, we have a web page. I was hoping to get that Kickstarter and pre-launch status, but it's just not there yet. We were hoping to go live in November. So
okay, well that's just something that we can keep an eye out for and watch it. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this video. They can hear us talking while the video is playing, so if you want to say anything, otherwise we'll just let it play.
No, enjoy the video.
Okay.
When it comes to an inspired and privileged retirement, Pine Fox is where you want to be. Quality of life, peace of mind, harmony, it's all here. The setting is beautiful and peaceful. The atmosphere is lively and enriching. The amenities have something for everyone and every interest. At Pine Fox, your health and well-being is a top priority. Our community is growing and just waiting for you to join us. If making the most of your AD years matters to you, the choice is clear. Pine Fox.
Katie, time to come in.
Okay, Mom.
For more information, call 216-555-3323 or visit pinefox.com today.
It's awesome.
That's cool. This is a great idea, bringing out these videos to coincide with your comics. It's such an innovative idea. That's so fantastic.
Thank you. We have a ton of fun with it. And, the whole idea with this one is it's kind of showing you this ideal community for the undead to go to and kind of live out their decay stages, right? But interspersed with these peaceful images is like the real world behind it, like all these riots and unrest. And it's like the two images next to each other, the contrast of what you think it should be and what it really is. So it's just kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like some people have dubbed the bear the zombie ninja bear on cocaine.
All right. That's like another comic book right there.
I mean, we could have a side quest with Big James and write that in there. I mean, why not?
I'd be definitely interested in seeing a zombie ninja bear on cocaine.
What's really funny for the people that are on our Facebook group, Path of the Pale Rider, I actually posted a video of this bear that someone gave it like a toy and it looks like it's playing with nunchucks. And it's so funny. And it was just like 2020 is over. Bears have nunchucks and we all got a good laugh, but it's just like, that's hilarious. A ninja bear on cocaine. That's basically what Jude has to deal with every day.
Yeah. Elvis of the Dead, Jose, just posted that the sun behind the bear was inspired by the Day of the Dead movie cover. That's really cool. I love stuff like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're not calling these zombies, right?
No, because they're not. They're people. They're just everyday people just trying to figure out what to do with their undead years. And it's just unfortunate that the things that are going to happen to them after they die.
Yeah.
One of the things that I explore in the comic is like after society is starting to break down and we separate the living from the dead, there is a police force that their job is to go collect people and ship them off to undead communities. So you can call an anonymous line on your neighbor who you think is undead, and they'll show up, knock on their door, and rip them out of their house if they're undead, which is unfortunate. What if you have kids? What if your kid passes and you're alive?
Yeah. Well, so this you got Karens in this comic book too, sounds like, that can call in and report you and get you hauled off. This is great.
Right.
I love all the social commentary.
It's
lots of social commentary.
And I mean, like we had this with, Nazis where people are harboring Jews and they're calling, the SS to come rip people out of their houses on claims that who knows if they're real, One of the things I wanted to talk about is the technology of this world. So everybody is forced to wear what I call a disc. So it's this electronic, like a touch screen. And when you touch it, it amplifies the sound of your heartbeat. And if you have a heartbeat, it has a green light that will flash every time your heart beats. So it's a very easy thing for an authority figure to come in, and instead of being like license or registration, they come over and they just tap your disc to see, are you living?
Oh.
Okay. And if you're dead, it makes like that flat line sound, beep, and it's red. But since it's technology, it can be hacked.
Okay.
You have so much attention to detail, Laurie, in this.
I'm
Like, so many
telling
little
you.
things. It's great. It's crazy.
Those are the stories that I love, though. The worlds that are so well thought out that you can just get sucked in, and it's like there's a backstory to everything. Or, we've talked about the mechanics of the discs and how people would wear them and how they would look. And my buddy David Rodriguez, he has a background in cosplay, and we're talking about actually making these things that would be functional.
Oh, wow.
So at some point we could be, having an actual disc, and that excites me,
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I'm
what
so
makes
intrigued by the whole thing because, you've got this technology, but it's a Western. So, it raises a lot of questions in my mind, and I feel like I'm already invested in this story.
I know, I want to read it.
Yeah, I want to
Like
know
right now.
I want to know why they have technology in the Western days,
Well, it's not the Western days. It's now.
It's now.
It's just a
Okay.
Western
It's
style.
now. It's now. It's just a Western feel because that's where he is. He's going through the Old West in 10 years into the apocalypse. So it's kind of become it has devolved into the
Okay.
Wild West at this point.
Gotcha.
You
See,
see
that
what I mean?
was kind of where I was
Yeah.
going. I was like, I'm wondering, is this actually in the Western days, or has society just crumbled so much that that's what we're reduced to?
That's where we're
So
at. And when you read the story, it depends on where you are geographically. The farther west you go, the rougher it gets.
Okay.
gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, it's like a Western tech noir kind of feel to
Yes.
it, and those are the funnest stories. I mean, that's just so much fun, and like you were mentioning, like we were mentioning before, I always find the best comics are the ones like you're making where you have a backstory for everything because
Yeah.
you don't miss any little thing.
Right. Or there's a reason why, he wears his gun a certain way. There's holes in his hat and there's a story of what happened to him to get those holes or scars or why he trusts no people or, you know what I mean? We have this whole backstory for Jude, where he started, where he is now. And he has this journal that he keeps track of everything. And one of the things we're going to explore is like, different conspiracy theories. So the world is the way it is and nobody knows why. Only a few people know. But what does everybody think caused it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've got this
You know,
whole
we're-
dystopian thing going on. I wonder, were you inspired by anything, any dystopian stories or movies?
Man, I could talk forever about all the movies that I love, but okay, so things that have inspired me. So I love good fight scenes. That comes from my martial art background. I love good gory things, zombie movies, Quentin Tarantino. I mean, like we were in the theater for Kill Bill, and the restaurant scene where she's just chopping arms off and stuff. And I was laughing during this part. And my husband is like, I don't know this crazy lady, but that's just how I am. It's like, I love the visceral parts of the movies that get your emotions there, I love like Mad Max, love that movie. I love playing Fallout. If you've played that video game, that's apocalypse and you basically go around and you scavenge things and you fight, radiated monsters, and love that game. So like if you like I Am Legend or Mad Max or Walking Dead, I mean, this is kind of the things that have influenced me. But also, I'm raising questions about the real world and society, socio-political questions, polarized opinions of how we should treat a minority. This undead population starts out as a minority and everybody kind of gangs up against them. And then eventually as time goes on, they become the majority, right?
Yeah.
Because people are dying every day and it just adds to their numbers. So what happens when they outnumber us?
Yeah,
That's
no
true.
doubt. I mean, it's so original, this story is. I really think it's going to go places. And I encourage everybody watching when the fundraiser starts, please go and check that out. I want to see this get published, and I want to see it keep going. Is this something if it does become successful, would you continue self-publishing, or would you want to go to a major publisher?
I haven't thought that far yet, just because I have to get there. I'd like to have control of the story, being that it's my story and it's my baby. It would have to be something where the publisher would it would have to be a benefit to the story for me to bring them on, because that's the empowering part of Kickstarter, is where you cut out the middleman and you just have the creators that are able to provide the story directly to the audience that wants it. So I don't have to have certain deadlines. I don't have to include agendas that they want me to push, or bring in characters that they want me to. It's like I get to keep control, and I can do some of these fun things like create the extra web page for you to enjoy, or have the phone number that if you find to it, is a phone number for Pine Fox community. So it's like I'm the one that would be doing that. I don't think a publishing company would help me at this point.
Yeah.
But it could all change in the future, just depending on what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
at
mean,
least,
we're talking about comic book, and I could already see this being like a TV series. We need to call
Mhm.
Netflix. We gotta get
I
Netflix involved in
know.
this.
But again, I don't want to, I want to keep my creative control. I have some very powerful characters in here, and I would be devastated if they changed my characters so they weren't what I see them as. You get farther into the story, there's another character that's this very powerful female, and she is amazing. And if we were to change her, I would die. I mean, like, it would kill me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these people
Yeah.
are, you've created them. They're like your children. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh.
That's true. I know you were talking about martial arts and dystopian films. Have
Mhm.
you ever seen the movie Hell Driver?
No, I have not. What's that?
You
Tell
should
me
look
about
that
it.
one up. So it's
Write
from
that down.
2010, and it's basically a martial arts zombie movie. But there's a girl trying to work her way across Japan, a dystopian
Yeah.
Japan, while fighting zombies, doing martial arts, and it's a really great movie. So if you haven't seen that, I'd recommend that one.
Thank you. I will definitely watch that. Sounds like it was written for me. So
I think it was. That's why I was thinking. I was like, yep.
Wasn't Yoshihiro involved in that,
Nishimura.
Charles? Nishimura.
Yoshihiro
Yeah.
Nishimura. Yeah, he directed it.
Yoshihiro Nishimura was a guest at our event years ago, and
Yeah.
he's kind of I don't know if you could say prolific, but he's done a lot of Japanese horror stuff, and he came with Ihai Shina from Audition. If you've seen Takashi Maiki's Audition,
Yeah.
they were
He also
great
did a movie
guests.
called Tokyo Gore Police that you'd probably like too, because it's another martial arts horror film.
gotta
Just
love
look up
it.
Yoshihiro movies. He loves those martial arts dystopian type films. So
That's right up my alley, man. Because the farther you read, there's going to be some kick-ass fight scenes in this one too.
That's awesome.
There's some bar fights. I mean, like, there's definitely a lot of interaction with the environment. It's so difficult for Jude because everything is a threat. Everything. The environment, because it's been 10 years and all the infrastructure is decomposing. So,
Mhm.
Earth is taking everything back. Animals like Big James, but also, like, can you think of like a plague of undead insects that would just show up and eat everything? I mean,
Yeah.
like, people who either want your stuff, or the undead, who are either trying to protect themselves, or maybe they're riding and they come through and they shoot everybody because now guess what? You're part of our gang. So it's so hard to navigate this world and keep your head on your shoulders. So
Well, it
I-
definitely is a genre bending film.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, we throw a lot of
project.
stuff in there.
yeah,
Yeah,
it really is.
that's great. I
There's a
love
lot
that
going
though.
on.
That's what I
It's
loved
such a
about
mixture of
Blade.
genres. Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I loved about Blade. Is what I'm saying. Is it was genre bending. It was action, martial arts.
Mhm.
You had vampires and horror, and
Love
that's
Blade.
what I think we need. We need an injection of new and fresh.
Yeah. How many things have we recycled? And
Too many.
so many spin-offs, and it's like, yeah, it's a great idea, but we've explored everything, every avenue. So it's like, we need something new. And that's kind of what I wanted to come up with. It's just something new and interesting and thought-provoking, and cliffhangers and twists you don't see coming, and lots of blood, guts, and gore, because why not? Keeps me interested.
That's
You've
what I
definitely
say.
done it, because this is a great story, and I'm kind of sad I gotta wait now to read it, because I'm waiting. I'm like, come on.
I know, we're getting there. And it's like every day I'm like, hey guys, hey artists, how you doing? Like, where are we at? Because I know people are chomping at the bit, but we want it to be right. We don't want to rush and get it out there and have it be less than what our expectations are, because really that's what it's about. Being able to communicate the story in a way that does the story justice. So I know Jose and David are working diligently. They talk to me almost every day about the project and where they are and how we're doing. So, if you're interested in this project, jump on one of the social media platforms that we have. I try to update them as many times as I can. The Facebook group is the one that gets the most attention just because that's the one I'm always on. So if you can find this group, it's just Path of the Pale Rider on Facebook. You keep all the names are the same. So on Instagram, Path of the Pale Rider, and then our webpage is pathofthepalerider.com. So you don't have to add anything. It's just all the same.
The viewers are kind of catching on. I've got Richard Nettleton said zombie murder hornets. And,
that's, you know what? They're not murder hornets, but that's in the story. Mm-hmm.
Travis Brown says zombie voters. Boy, that could cause some problems, right?
And it does in the beginning, because that's what happens. People are still around and they're injecting their opinion. And then it becomes the government says, you know what, when you die, you don't get to keep voting. You didn't, like before this happened, dead people didn't get to vote. So now we're taking away your right to vote. We're taking away your right to drive. We're taking away your right to carry a weapon. And this incites panic and anger, and stuff starts to get ugly.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I keep running into stuff. And, like Jose, I ran into him and, I found out about this. And then today, before we got on the show, I actually got an alert on my phone about a voter who had voted and then passed away from cancer, and they may not be counting her vote. So,
what?
Yeah. So, I just keep running into stuff like this. It's almost like it was meant to be, I feel fortunate that I found out about this project.
Yeah, it's very bizarre when their world is so crazy right now. Everything is tumultuous. Mm-hmm. And when I wrote this, it was the beginning of 2019 is when I started. None of this stuff was happening. We weren't having riots. We weren't having protests. We weren't having COVID,
Did you cause all this? Was it you, Laurie?
I'm going to say no to that because I don't want to meet the wrath of the public. But it's just bizarre, like when you're writing stuff and then the world mimics your art.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It messes with your head, I was reading Facebook and they were talking about, and I've lived in Michigan most of my life, okay? And Michigan is having a large COVID outbreak right now. And of course, the holidays are coming up. And there was an article that said you can call an anonymous hotline on your neighbor who is having too many people over for Thanksgiving because they're going to be breaking the executive rule. They only have so many people in their house at one time. I was like, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. And I don't know, I'm not giving an opinion whether that's right or wrong. It's just weird that I had it in my story and then now life is mimicking art. But again, that's all stuff that's based off of history, things that we've done to each other in the past. So it's all within human capability.
Wow. Well, in a world gone mad, that's what we need is a comic book about a world gone mad. I mean,
yes, we do.
It does. It helps. It helps. I've always been a strong believer in that horror movies and fiction of any kind always helps us cope with what we're having to deal with in real life. Yes. So it's kind of a catharsis kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
it
I
is.
Really enjoy your guys' videos where it's like the year of horror 1994, because it kind of talks about what people were afraid of at that time. Because when we as a society are afraid of viruses, then we get movies like Contagion and Outbreak. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When it was 2012, we had all the apocalypse movies, it was like 2012 and Deep Impact. And so it's just interesting, horror movies as kind of a historical guide to the fears of humankind, I think it's super interesting, how zombies evolved. Back in the day and when they first started, it was like zombies were people that were brainwashed by a voodoo witch doctor, right?
Right, yep. Right.
And then it became, George Romero, and it was like the zombies were the slow moving but cannibalistic. that were dangerous in packs, but you could still get away from them. And then it's like, then we have Dawn, Day of the Dead, where it's like they start moving quicker and they're real dangerous and they're everywhere and society is broken and you can't beat them. And then it became the new version where they were like fast and then there was Walking Dead. And so you can see like the evolution of the fears of people by how we treat, zombies and other things that are scary to people.
Yeah, it's like in
That
the
is true.
50s we had the the atom bomb fear. So there were
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
movies about, atom bombs and radiation and what it did to society and Godzilla, and you could
Right.
just go on. And to me that's what horror is all about. It's and I guess I get that from Romero. Really impressed that upon me because he did take so much social commentary
Yep.
and put in those films, and I love it, and I love what you guys are doing. I think it's really amazing. I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
I'm
me as
excited
well.
too.
You're gonna have to keep us up to date. That way, when the Kickstarters launch, we can make sure to tell everybody.
Oh,
And you'll
thank
definitely have my support too. I'll be there, so I'm ready to see
Thank
this.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the coolest things, I've been watching some of these comments go by, and someone had suggested we do a buddy cop movie with you guys in it. And one of the ideas that actually David Rodriguez and I were throwing back and forth is doing some side comic issues about different topics. And one of them was a buddy cop issue from the police force that I created. So that was just really interesting that that came up, because maybe you guys can give us permission to use your likeness and we can throw you in there. That would be cool.
We're in. We
Do
do.
it.
Yeah, we've been
Do it.
waiting for somebody to include us in a story.
There you
Yeah, I
go.
know.
One of the Kickstarter levels for the project, because I have everything planned out, I think the $100 backing level, David will draw your likeness into our comic in an issue.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great.
So anybody could have their likeness in and be a part of our story. I already picked out my issue where I was like, David, this is where I want to be. And I just thought it would be hilarious if like you see me and then I died like 2 seconds later. And he was like, why? And I was like,
There
"It's
she is. Oh,
hilarious."
she's dead.
There she goes, right? Exactly.
Well, that was actually, that comment was from our resident comedian Richard Nettleton. One of my favorite ones. I have to mention it. He said, "Have you ever done a story about a gorilla that overcame addiction and fought to get a second chance at a music career?" Come on, Richard.
What does that
What
mean?
are you talking about?
I think Richard needs to write that story.
Richard,
Yeah.
get on it. That's your story, man.
That's awesome.
That could be a comic book too, Richard. Get on it, all right?
Right,
watch it.
right. I mean, if this takes out, well, and here's the other thing. If we can get, if we can get some popularity and we can grow this project, who's to say we can't start other projects as well? I mean, with this artist team, I wrote that the web series Agency, I would love to make that into a comic. It is
Yeah.
already set up to be one because I wrote it in issues, because I wrote it in episodes. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's already there. So all we have to do is, get ourselves out there and find our audience, is how I feel. I think people will love this story. They just have to give us a chance and start reading.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's what we're going to keep encouraging all of our watchers to check out Path of the Pale Rider.
Yes.
Go and get on their Facebook. Laurie was telling us they have a Facebook and an Instagram. Make sure you follow that to stay up on all the new news that's coming up. And I'm sure you guys will probably have a website at some point.
We have one now.
Okay.
It's just pathofthepalerider.com.
Awesome. So everybody go to pathofthepalerider.com. Make sure that you follow them on their social media. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, Laurie? We've covered so much, but
Yeah.
I feel like we
I'm
could
so
talk
intrigued
for...
now. I know. I'm so intrigued. I want to know more. Just tell us the
know.
whole story, Laurie. It's okay.
No,
It's okay.
you have to follow with everybody else.
Fine.
You know what, though? I mean, if you guys are going to help and you're going to help promote, we'll make sure that we take care of you. Absolutely. So we'll send you maybe an early copy.
Oh,
We're going to be
well,
the buddy
hey.
cops. We're going to be buddy cops. Remember, Lloyd?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna be the buddy cops in the movie. I mean, in the comic book.
In the
Oh, that
comic,
would be
that's us.
awesome if we could get movie rights. And if I had enough power where I could be like, these two guys, these are the buddy cops. That would be awesome. You know? Like that would, I'd have to pull like a lot of strings, I'm sure. But I mean, that would be
Well, I mean,
hilarious.
they take one look at me and Lloyd and be like, "Yep, those are them."
They
I'm
are
like, "I
the
know."
stars. They're so good looking. They're so
Yep.
sexy.
Boom, boom.
They're like, you guys look like buddy cops to me.
We're gonna revolutionize what Hollywood does, or
Yeah.
how they look at guys, lead actors. Where you can kind of be, you got to be fat and ugly like me and Charles, right?
We're gonna go back to 1970 again. We're gonna be like Marlon Brando in the 70s.
Yeah. You got to
Well,
shave that beard though and just go with the stash.
Oh, I need
Ooh.
that. That's my cop stash.
Yeah. there
That's
you go.
lovely. Lori,
Well,
thank you for
thank you so
coming
much.
on. It's been a great talk with you today. I'm
Thank you.
even more intrigued now. Every little bit that I get about this Path of the Pale Rider, it makes me even hungrier to see more.
I'm
So,
salivating, Lloyd. I'm salivating.
I
You
know I am
didn't
as
even
well.
tell you the best part.
Uh-oh, go do
There's
it.
more?
Well, you know who the Pale Rider is, right?
Well, I know the original Pale Rider is Clint Eastwood.
It goes a little back farther than that.
Okay, tell us.
Pale Rider is one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse,
Oh, okay,
Ah.
yeah.
specifically death.
Okay.
See, you
I know
keep
what you're talking
dropping
about now.
these
See?
little
You know what I'm
things
saying?
on us.
Knowledge bombs on
Everything
us.
has meaning in this story. If you look up Jude. I won't say anything else. Go look
Okay.
up Jude. Who is Saint Jude? Or like, you know what I mean? Like when I name people, there's a reason why their names are that way. You know what I mean? So there's thought behind every single aspect of this. So
That's so
enjoy it.
amazing.
So,
When you
Todd,
get there, enjoy it.
yeah. Todd asked, "Is this a book or a movie?" I was late getting on. This is a comic book. This is a graphic novel. Some people don't like the word comic book, but
I know.
I don't know why
But
it has
Well,
that.
you guys should.
Series. So like a graphic novel could be like a one and done sometimes, or this is going to be a series. So right now we're on issue number 1 that we're developing, and I have 13 written, and I'm still continuing the story. I've been working on where it goes from there.
We need to come up with a super sophisticated name, an illustrated epic. How does that sound? Instead of-
Illustrated existential horror. That's what I
Yeah.
think it is.
Tech noir horror western. There we go.
Right. It's its own thing. It's
Well,
Its own thing.
We said it's genre bending, so we're not gonna try to fit it in a box. How's that
No,
sound?
no boxes.
Oh, you
No
really
boxes.
can't. You really can't. And I mean, like as the story evolves, it starts out more as a Western, and then it gets, and then like we have an extended flashback. So then it goes back to the beginning of when the stuff actually happened, and it gives you more background. So then like the whole tone changes. And then later on, when Jude gets to where he's trying to get to, it changes again, and it becomes very noir, and it's ever changing, and it's like the whole world is so different depending on where you are, and Jude just is trying to navigate through all of it.
That's so amazing.
Mm.
Well,
really
you got me
is.
intrigued, and I
Sure.
am ready to read that first issue.
I know.
Absolutely. Well, please keep in touch with us. If you ever want to
Please.
come back on, you got
Yeah.
something new that you want to talk about, just let us know.
Okay.
We're in it for the long haul here at Frightmare HQ.
Oh,
Yep.
thank you guys so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for having me on and giving me the opportunity to talk to your fans about my project, our project. It's just, I love it. Every time I talk about it, I just get more excited, and I'm so passionate about getting it there and getting it out there and letting people read it. I really believe that people will love this story because there's just so much in it. We spent so much time developing and thinking about everything that you can get lost in this
Yeah.
world. And that's what I'm hoping we do, is that we provide some kind of out for people from their daily lives of COVID boredom or stress or anxiety or whatever's in your life. You could read this story and be like, man, it could be worse.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
and I just, I want to let all the watchers know that, this is obviously you can tell this is a passion project for you.
Hmm.
So, it's good to support people that are passionate about what they're doing.
Yep.
So make sure you keep in tune, and try to support this in any way you can. And support doesn't always mean money. We know money's important, but if you don't have that, sometimes it's important just to share and spread the word and let people know
Spread the
about it.
word. Word of mouth helps.
Yeah, that's actually the best way you could help us right now is to just join our Facebook group and share it on your page. Because just to get our name out there, because our biggest hurdle is getting funded. If we can get funded for that first issue and we can have a product to put in people's hands, the story will get you. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Umbrella Academy. You watch that first episode and it's like, all right, I need to watch the next one, and it'll keep bringing you through the story. It'll, intrigue your mind and your feelings. It'll get you right in the feels. So, but until we get that issue 1 out,
I don't even need the first issue. I'm already intrigued. I'm already hooked.
I am too.
I'm already ready.
Good.
It's just so different, and that's what I think as horror fans, that's what we're always looking for is that new, fresh thing. So I think we're going to find it in this project. And
cool.
Laurie, I can't wish you enough luck with this project. I hope it goes fantastically for you.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you for coming on the show and joining us today.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. We're going to keep this going.
And happy Halloween to everybody.
Happy Halloween to you.
Happy Halloween to you as well. Have a good day.
You too. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
That sounds awesome. I'm ready.
Me too.
I'm on twice. I'm on 4 times now.
Look at that.
I got
us right back to it. Look at that. That's smooth. I am an engineer here, man.
Smooth, Lloyd. You're so smooth, Lloyd. You know that?
I am. Well, I'm super excited. I'm very excited for them too because, like I said, I can tell this is a passion project for her. So
I agree. Sounds really amazing. I'm super excited about it.
Me too.
And it's Halloween, so I'm actually happy everybody joined us today.
Absolutely.
It is a good Halloween. I'm here with Lloyd, and we're actually going to be back on tonight watching Nightbreed with Downtown Travis Brown tonight.
Now look at that. Richard Nettleton
Happy
tipped us.
Halloween, and remember to sacrifice only those deserving of it.
Could you hear that,
Ooh.
Charles?
No.
You still couldn't hear that? Well, that's a bummer.
I couldn't hear it.
But you can see the screen now, can't you?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Just behind the scenes, y'all, we've got a little bit of a new setup behind the scenes, so Charles can actually see what's going on the screen now without watching YouTube.
I know.
Whoa!
I'm super excited about that. You okay?
Yeah, I had something to eat this morning that kind of upset my stomach. So, what are you playing?
It's not good. It's just what it sounds like I exist. All right, guys, it's Halloween. I feel like I need to do some giveaways because it's Halloween.
You're a Halloween gift in your, of yourself because look at this, guys. Charles is dressed up. You're on I guess you're a crew member of the USS Nostromo.
Yeah, it's been a long couple days here at the Nostromo. We landed on this planet, and I told them, not to let people in, but there's this crazy little thing running around, and he likes to put his thing in people's mouths. It's real nasty.
Were you in hibernation before?
Oh, I was. I'm the janitor, so I have to stay up. I have to clean the shit. So
I'm the janitor. You're the janitor of the Nostromo.
Yeah, I don't get to hibernate, unfortunately, as the janitor. I have to clean all the pods, I have to sit here by myself. But, once this thing came on board, I locked myself away from everybody. So screw those people. I hear them out there screaming, and I'm like, I don't care about you guys.
I've locked you.
Janitor. I'm just a janitor.
Well, what do we got for giveaways today?
I got a few things, actually, because I love Halloween. So first off, I have got an Arrow video copy of The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one.
What do you guys think? Smells like success in life.
Success in life.
I'm gonna give this away to the first person who can. Let's do some trivia. Maybe I can do some trivia. Somebody tell me the name of the camp from Sleepaway Camp, and you can win this. The Hills Have Eyes.
So I am looking on. See, I'm looking on Facebook, and I'm looking at Twitch. Whoever gets it right.
I got more too.
Well,
I'm having a great day with Halloween.
Read the question again, Charles.
So you have to answer, what is the name of the camp from Sleepaway Camp?
I know the answer.
I know.
If nobody says it, do I get to win, Charles?
Yeah, you can win, Lloyd.
I don't see any answers yet. I wonder if
Dang.
where's YouTube?
I don't got anything on YouTube coming.
Yeah, I don't see anything. I'm watching Twitch.
All right, well, I guess I'm keeping it.
You're watching YouTube, right?
Yep. What is the camp from Sleepaway Camp? Man, that's the longest time we ever had.
I know.
All right. Richard Nettleton just got it.
Did he?
Arawak.
Camp Arawak.
Yep.
Good
I think
job.
Richard Nettleton won the other day, too. Good job, Richard. You're a machine.
Keep winning, Richard.
Seriously. What's next? Anybody want me to do more giveaways? Nobody want any more giveaways? I think we should stop. What do you think?
I recommend it, Charles. If nobody's
All right,
watching,
yeah, you can win giveaways.
if nobody's answering questions, then there's no sense in giving away stuff.
All right, fine. What am I supposed to do then? Just hang out?
Yeah, you just hang out over there. And
Do I just dance?
do you want to dance?
I'm always dancing, man. I'm always dancing. Next up, I'm going to give away one of these awesome little Texas Chainsaw Massacre Ford club wagons.
Ooh, that's awesome. Somebody said Battlefield Earth.
Oh, don't worry. I got a copy for you. I'm actually doing a scene-by-scene recreation of Battlefield Earth myself. All right. So if anybody wants to win this, I'll make it easy. Tell me the first Friday the 13th movie where Jason wears the hockey mask.
The first Friday the 13th movie that Jason wore the hockey mask in.
Yep.
All right. And you win a Texas Chainsaw van.
Club wagon. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's
Boom.
see. Who can win that? Okay, Todd Lewis.
Todd Lewis won. All right, Todd. That is
Friday the
yours.
13th, part 3. Congratulations, Todd.
Trace.
Art Trace.
All right.
All right, guys. So tonight we've got a watch party on Twitch. If you'll join us on Twitch, it's twitch.com. What are we? TX Frightmare? Yeah, twitch.tv/TX Frightmare. Tonight we are watching Nightbreed, and it's hosted by Downtown Travis Brown is going to be on with us tonight. So that's going to be fun. We're going to have a blast watching that. If you're looking for something to do tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time, why don't you just join us? Join us and we'll have a lot of fun.
You know what? I will I'll be there too. So I'm very excited about this. And Richard and Todd, make sure to send us your addresses because we don't keep those for, because I don't keep addresses. And I think Richard won the other day too, Richard. So you got to send it to me your address.
There
I need
you
it
go.
again, Richard. I need it. Yeah, and I'm going to do more giveaways tonight during Nightbreed. So why? Because it's Halloween.
It is Halloween. We're having a great time. Sue and I are at Frightmare Collectibles right now. We're here till 10 p.m., so I'll be going live again from the store.
Oh, That
come
sounds
on out
awesome.
if you still need a costume or any other Halloween stuff. We have a few things left as far as Halloween goes. So we've got Michael Myers masks and Droog costumes from Clockwork Orange and several other things. So hope to see you out here today. But most of all, we want you guys to enjoy your Halloween and have a great time.
I know. I kind of wish I was there with Lloyd, but I told Lloyd earlier Charles has not been feeling too good the last couple of days. Charles has been kind of under the weather, but regardless of being under the weather, I'm still here every Saturday. Remind everybody we're here tomorrow morning too with Arrow Video.
Yes.
Arrow Video will be on tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's gonna be fun. I love talking to Arrow.
Yeah,
But
they're going to do some sneak peeks on some upcoming stuff, right?
yeah, sneak peeks on some upcoming stuff. I think we're going to talk a little bit about their Arrow Video channel too. Some of the stuff coming up on there. They've got they got a lot of awesome content coming on the Arrow Video channel in the month of November. We're going to talk a lot about like that. A lot of cool stuff.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that and finding out. It's been a little bit since we've talked to the folks at Arrow, so that'll be fun.
That is true. So hopefully we see you guys tonight, tomorrow. And again, we'll be back on Wednesday for Year in Horror. I think we're up to 94.
I believe it's 94.
94.
Yes, sir, Charles. That's going to be a fun one.
Last week, man, we got possessed by a demon during 93. And yeah, we're not doing that again. We're just going to stop.
Exactly.
Other than that, yeah, I think we're good. If you guys like Lloyd said, if you guys are bored today, head out to Frightmare Collectibles. That is opened up today. And other than that, hopefully we'll see you guys at 7 p.m. tonight for Nightbreed.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank everybody that joined us today. Thanks for coming on. We will see you again tonight. I think that's it. That's it for Frightmare HQ. Make sure you also support Laurie Calcaterra and Path of the Pale Rider.
Can't wait for that. So glad she joined us.
Absolutely. All right, guys. I think that's it. I want to say peace, and y'all have a good one.
Bye.